Hey everyone, welcome back to the Poplar Report. We're going to be doing a store update here. I'm going to be walking you through the Dollar Tree. We're going to be walking through Walmart and Aldi and letting you see kind of what things are looking like here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I finally got my car situation sorted out for the most part, and I'm able to get around again. And so we're going to be going and seeing what these look like. I'm also going to be throwing in a whole bunch of comments about what you guys are saying out there about things. I'm going to check on things. And one of the big things we're going to check on is the Dollar Tree. So let's jump right into it. Big things I've been hearing from you guys out there is that the Dollar Tree is looking empty. And so I'm hearing this from all over the country. You're like, the store shelves are just empty. It's like a ghost town in the Dollar Trees. And there's a lot of Dollar Tree stores out there, and here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it was no different. In fact, so that's the cards. Yeah, okay, so the cards might be empty, right? But then you look over at paper plates, you look over at party goods, you look at toys. Everywhere it was like half empty or worse. From shampoos to body whatever lotions, shampoo conditioners, it looks like, body washes, the soap. I used to get the palm olive soaps there. Those used to be a 3-pack for $1. Now it's a 2-pack for $1.25. If someone could use their Common Core math to kind of figure out how the 3% works on that one, because I think you have to use the Common Core math for that to make sense. But we also just seeing just across the store, it was just empty. Now, not the whole store, but a lot of the sections, or most of the sections, were pretty empty. Just more examples there. But then you go to the snack aisle, and it was like fully stocked, like completely stocked. They have a couple of things that a lot of people wouldn't think to pick up at the Dollar Tree, but I'm going to recommend this right now, and it sounds weird. They got their plungers back on the shelf, at least here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Might want to pick up a few of those. Southern Prepper One had a great video where he showed you how to have like an off-grid laundry setup, and it's basically a 5-gallon bucket with a plunger. Make sure you use a clean plunger, so that's why you want to buy a new one that hasn't been used for anything nasty. And then you drill holes in the plunger, 4 or 5 holes around the side of it so that the water can kind of get through, and you use that plunger as the agitator to do your 5-gallon bucket with the lid on top of it. So a plunger is a good thing to have. If you have 5-gallon buckets and you get a plunger, you have your washing machine set up. You just need to have someone who will agitate the clothes, and you're all good to go. A bunch of good things. They got some good scrubby pads and stuff like that at Dollar Tree. But anyway, so not the whole store empty, but let's move over to Aldi. Aldi, price of eggs up a lot. Now, it's been a few weeks since I've been to Aldi because of my car situation. That's mostly sorted out, so I'm moving back around again. But back then, about a few weeks ago, it was $1.70 something for a dozen eggs. Now it's $2.78. Now I know some of you guys are seeing really high prices where you are, $4 or $5 a dozen, and some of you guys are having real issues with actually getting availability of eggs. But definitely big price increases all around the country, and here is no different. Cream cheese, seeing 2 empty shelves there of cream cheese. Some of the margarines and butters slots being empty there too. The cheapest hot dogs gone. Not sure what they put in them, but they're cheap, and you get them just because they're cheap, right? Some of the pastas having issues there. Aldi's still having issues. Noticeably that they have moved over to plastic bags for some of the pastas, and you're going to see that Walmart is also doing that as well. So clearly, that's probably going to be a thing that we're going to be seeing in the near future here. The cardboard boxes are going away, and we're going to be seeing more and more of these little plastic bags of pasta. But notice how many of them are missing. Corned beef hash. Aldi corned beef hash is back on the shelf, which is, thank goodness, because the Walmart corned beef hash is just not as good. Let's just put it that way. And the name brand stuff is just so expensive. So hopefully the Aldi corned beef hash still tastes good, but maybe they did change brands or whatever. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. The phone number's right there. If you do call them directly, make sure you mention this channel. That way they waive the setup fee. That's important. It saves you hundreds of dollars. So definitely want to do that. But they'll answer your questions. Jonathan and his team do a fantastic job. All of you guys who have talked to them say they answer your questions. They don't put pressure on you. You can also request information pack if you don't want to just talk to them yet. You want to just see some numbers. You want to see some of the info. There'll be a link at the end of the video. All right, so this is over at Walmart. Some of you guys have been sharing about how berries are in shortage. We're seeing strawberries, blueberries, and like blackberries and stuff like that. Seeing issues with that all over the U.S. And so I wanted to take a look at that here and seeing the berries missing in action. No strawberries, and then the blueberries, as you can see, have some gaps there. Blackberries gaps. Grapes seemed a little light, but not terribly so. I haven't been hearing so many of you guys talking about grapes. But I usually don't take pictures of this part of the Walmart store because it's usually well stocked. Not so much right here. Notice lettuce, a bunch of lettuce sections open here. And even the down below, the iceberg lettuce is very light there. We've been told that produce is going to be light for the next month at least due to storms out in California as well as down in Florida. So expect that to kind of continue. Frozen potatoes, fairly well stocked, but a few outages here and there. Frozen pizzas are back on the shelf, so this is good news. Definitely seeing a lot more of those. We were having some major issues earlier. The only thing where I saw some really big gaps here was in the peanut butter and jelly frozen sandwiches. But I don't know why you do that in the first place. I don't understand why you just make your own peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't know. Do you guys get those things? I see that's a pretty big section, and I never understood why you'd get frozen peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I mean, I guess maybe you just don't want to get the knife dirty and you don't want to mess with the jars. I don't know, but I don't get that. Anyway, the canned, that's not to say, it's bad if you do that, of course. I just don't understand it. Maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know. So we got the canned fruit section here. The canned fruit section doesn't look too bad. Doesn't have too many gaps here, but the thing that I've just been noticing is just this section has gotten so much smaller. This is about half the size it was last year. It's a lot smaller. So while it may not have big gaps, it's about half as many canned goods. So I don't know if people are just not buying canned fruit anymore. There's a lot less, especially a lot less applesauce out there. I don't know if that's an issue or not, but that's just what I'm seeing. Coffee. Not in emergency mode here, but a little light over there in the Folgers section. We do know that Robusta coffee beans are in shortage worldwide, and so the price has gone up dramatically on that. I don't expect to see too many outages here in the United States of cheap coffee, but I do expect that we will be paying a lot higher prices. So it'll probably be outages in third world countries and places where they don't pay nearly as much for coffee. But there is issues with the coffee out there, so be aware of that. Some of the non-name brand stuffing mixes seemed a little light. The mashed potatoes looked fairly good, actually, overall. Now, the canned Asian vegetables and canned Asian specialty stuff looked definitely noticeably light. Now, you can kind of see some cans all the way in the back there. I couldn't see that from where I was standing. I shot this from the hip. So that's good to actually see back a little further into the shelf because sometimes there's some stuff hiding back there. And this is one of those cases. But still, that's not, what's going on with the Asian specialties stuff, right? Canned tuna looking pretty good, but the generic canned tuna is a lot smaller of space. There's a lot less generic, and there's a lot more name brand tuna and albacore and all that kind of stuff. Canned fish, a lot more name brands, a lot less generic. What does that mean? I don't know, but that's just what it is. Keystone ground beef, Keystone beef is looking fairly good. Individual cans of canned chicken, little light. Prices are just stupid, but that is what it is. There's availability of all this kind of stuff. Spam. Now, individual cans of Spam, $3.58. Don't do that, please. Please don't do that. That's just crazy. There are better ways of getting it cheaper than that. The 2-pack is at least $3.18 or something like that. $3.15 right over there. Over at Sam's Club, I picked up an 8-pack of them, and I think that they came down to like $2.70 something per can. So definitely buy in bulk if you're getting Spam cans. I don't eat much Spam, but I like getting the big packs because that just goes on the shelf, and that stuff will last forever. So yeah, and I know some of you guys just don't like Spam at all, but there are some options there. Meat and canned meats do last basically indefinitely. Here's your Spam and your meat adjacent kind of products like chili and corned beef hash and a bunch of these things here that aren't, they may have meat in them, but they're not necessarily meat themselves. So we got that's fairly well stocked. All the meat adjacent stuff. You see the corned beef hash up there. It's not a bad idea to stock up on things like Spam, even if you don't like them, because you can always trade it to people who do like it. Or hey, in a crisis situation, maybe you'll like it. You'll learn to like it. I don't know. But the Dinty Moore beef stew, it's good. But you got just noticeable that the Great Value beef stew it disappeared a while back, and it has never come back. And so I'm not sure why, but beef stew is great. You throw some can of beef stew with a can of green beans, mix that together, throw it over rice, and that's how we used to eat it as I grew up. But the Great Value is just gone. North sides looked pretty gone here, and I think what's really going on here is the fact that I think people are going for convenience, but they can't afford like the frozen meals anymore, and so I think they're moving over to pastas, they're moving over to North sides, they're moving over to the things that are kind of prepped already, but are more on the cheap side. And so I think this pivot's happening. You guys let me know what you think about that. Is that really a thing? Let us know down in the comments down below. And then here's the pasta section, definitely light. And then when it comes to the other pasta, the main pasta section, notice how the elbows have gone into being plastic bags as opposed to the boxes. Really does look like we're moving that direction. Honestly, I think the plastic bags are probably going to be better for storage than the cardboard boxes. The cardboard boxes never really made sense. They just feel fancy, I guess, but they're not good. I mean, it's better to have it in a quote airtight bag, isn't it? But pasta definitely low across the board. Canned soups, some of that is pretty fronted, but fairly well stocked, but it just not that much depth to the stocking. Salad dressings looking better than what they had a while back, but still a little bit light. Salt, generic salts, not too much there, but they do have plain salt and iodized salt and generic. One of the name brand salts is out, and that's fine. Salt is salt. You don't need name brand salt, right? Anyway, I don't know why you want to pay twice as much for name brand salt. I mean, it's a chemical. Anyway, so with the olive oil, we have olive oil shortages coming in from Europe. Spain and Italy having very bad harvests of olives, and that is impacting olive oil production. And so we are seeing shortages there. We also have issues with the seed oils. So cooking oils are low generally across the board too. Water issues. Some of the pallets of water were missing. And then when you get over to the jugs of water, that was really low. So I'm not sure if people are on a buying spree of bottled water here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but that was something I did notice. Let me know if you're seeing water shortages where you are. $2.78 for eggs here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania as well at the Walmart, just like over at the Aldi. Egg availability seems good here in Pittsburgh. So maybe over on the East Coast, we're doing pretty good on availability, but prices are definitely going up across the board. Milk looked fairly good, but the milk adjacent kind of stuff and the fake milk had more outages and more issues here and there. The coffee creamers and stuff like that, definitely low in some places there. When you look over at the half and half and the cream and that kind of stuff, a little light here and there. Almond milk, yeah, not the whipped cream actually looks pretty well stocked there though. The cream cheese has been spread out significantly. I don't know why they're trying to take up so much space with the cream cheese, but this is definitely all stretched out. So availability of cream cheese looking pretty good, but when you start, I think they took some of the space away from the real butter. So you got your vegetable margarines and stuff like that. There's some gaps there, but your butter is looking a little bit lower. It looks like some varieties of butter are kind of missing or something, but I'm not going to ready to put my flag in the ground on that one yet. But this section right here, this is definitely a lot smaller. They reorganized this. This is about a third smaller than what it was before. So maybe that's where the cream cheese kind of got shifted over for. But definitely a lot less of these creamers and dips and, sour cream and ricotta cheese and stuff like that. This whole section is smaller. There's less of it. Cheeses, a lot of gaps on the cheese aisle there. Ketchup looking a little low, and here, this is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We got to have our ketchup. So the good news is, if you look at the rice and beans, there's there to be stocked up. Now, you know, not everyone can go to the store and stock up right now like this. This is enough stuff for one or two people to seriously stock up. You can get your 20-pound rice bags. You can get your 20-pound pinto bean bags. You can stock up right now if you choose to do so, but not everybody can right at the same time. There is stock right now, but that opportunity may be disappearing in the near future. All right, folks, that's what we got for you. Let us know in the comments what you guys are seeing where you are. Thanks so much for joining us. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.